What's up, Eric?
What's up, buddy boy?
Everybody's probably going, wait,
What happened?
especially the people. I mean, obviously, we're early in the show, so
Welcome.
but welcome.
Page in effect.
There you go. That's gone.
It's gone.
We
I
did
was
away with
kind of
it.
sad.
Are you?
I thought we had the pa pa and the rotation and the star. I like simplicity,
Right.
and that pitch did kind of get a little Mariah Carey.
The one on, yeah, we might change the loading screen,
But that's all right.
just the sound.
We're here to
We are.
support our veterans
Absolutely.
and bring
And
light.
mental health.
and mental health.
So we are, let's jump into our new intro.
Let's do it.
That's what we are debuting, our new intro. I think this is going to be the way we do things is we'll jump back on.
Yeah.
We'll start talking and then go into our intro.
Happy Mental Health Month,
There you go.
everybody.
There you go. And if you watch closely, I'm pretty sure our new intro even says mental health. So
Mental health.
here we go. And with a little
I'm excited about it. It's cool.
yeah, everybody,
cool.
if you've been listening, you're going to enjoy the music to this. So here we go.
Yeah, the times and places, they may change, but one thing stays the same. The stories that they tell about going through hell. If you think they wouldn't do it all over again, well, you just don't know them. The memories that they own of the ones who didn't make it home. Yeah, sure do miss them, but they keep them all living in the stories that they tell.
Yes,
Dude.
that's what I wanted. Listen, you had a vision and we didn't run through it first because I was
No.
like, oh, we're just jumping into it. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Because it's more time for our guests.
Right.
And then you shot that out there, and that's what I was talking about. So, that's dope. Hey, does Melvin? We need to rate our guest smiles. Melvin's
Melvin had
got the
best.
best smile. Like seriously,
the best smile. Yeah. And that's
It is
so
so dope.
let me explain. In editing that, right, I have to pick clips, and I think when I first sent it to you, I think
Yeah.
Scotty's eyes were closed. So I had to go find it. So I had to find, so then it was like finding like a 1 second clip. And Melvin, like once I think he felt comfortable with us, you
Oh, for
definitely
sure. Yeah.
you saw him
Yeah.
just smile the whole
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, that was a solid. I mean, first of all, I've said it before. I've said it for the 25th episode. I'll say
We
it for
say it every-
the next
every time.
2,500 that we do. Every episode, everyone asks me, "What's your favorite episode?" It's like the next one, because we just find these veterans, these military
Amazing.
people that have stories, and I get geeked up on it. We have that buildup of a week. It's like if we equivalent it to the NFL, you have one game a week, the build up to that game, and everyone gets excited for it. Where baseball's like every single day, and if we were on every single day,
it would get-
I think it would.
even though
drag.
Eric wants,
I know, I could.
Eric's
Yeah.
called, dude, can we just record
Yeah.
every day? I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing that's why I have my Instagram,
Right.
and I'm able to jump on periodically through
Right.
the week and stuff. But anyways, again, welcome. It's May, Mental Health Month, Mental Health Awareness Month. Go do something nice for somebody that can't repay you. How about that?
There you go. Without any repayment,
Yeah.
without any asking
Yeah.
for, just go
go
do
do it.
something nice.
Yeah.
It's
Here's another one.
it's
Just
easy.
do it and don't even record it. How about that?
or post it on
post
social
it.
media.
Like, just go
Hey, look
do it
what
out
I
of the
did.
goodness of your heart.
Exactly. And you know what? Right now there's graduates. I mean, there's so many different things going on. But you got
Tons.
graduates, there's kids graduating, roll up to a graduation
know.
ceremony, and yeah.
I'm feeling old, dude.
Well, you are old. That's
We are-
why. No, you,
Wow.
not me.
Okay.
Even though we're the same age. And I have older I have grandbabies.
Yeah, but I'm old.
But you're old.
But I'm old.
Yes.
Anyways.
All right. So when you're talking about like the next guest, right? And getting great. And I know I don't want to get her any more nervous than she probably was just coming on here since this is her first time doing something like this.
Yeah.
But I am very excited because you and I have talked about we needed a female veteran.
Yeah. And we needed a specific one. We needed someone that had a good story and has the foundation that she has, right?
Right.
but yet has the I want to say the forefront of pushing what she has and her excitement that she has for her I don't want to say program, for her platform.
Really her own life.
Yeah,
her life platform.
Right.
Is really what it is.
And I think this is I think this is the perfect guest for our first.
Yeah.
I think
so with that, we need to introduce Rachel Marchbanks to the show. Woo!
Thank you.
Welcome,
Rachel.
Rachel. Yeah.
Thank you.
We need the audience here to keep it down. So first off, Rachel is 20 years retired U.S. Army, right?
Congratulations.
And Rachel, and again, I don't want to make the mistake I did before, but there are a lot of letters behind your name.
Don't let her.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of letters. So for those of us that don't understand all the letters because we are not as educated,
I got the first two.
Okay, you got
United
the first
States.
You're talking for U.S. Army?
Well, yeah, we didn't say which ones. You said behind her name.
And,
I got
retired. It got retired.
I got
this
those.
guy. He's hilarious, Rachel. He's hilarious. I'm talking the one MED. I know what BA means, but CPSS. So Rachel, before we get, so everybody understands. So again, Rachel Marchbanks, retired U.S. Army for 20 years. And then we have some letters behind her name. So can you explain what all those are?
I will. The MED is a master's in education.
There you go.
The BA is, bachelor's.
The bachelor's. Yep.
And then the CPSS is certified peer support specialist.
I read that.
Oh,
I should have known that.
Melvin should have had that after his name, didn't he? Man, we're slipping. We are terrible. Well, thank you for that. And we were talking about English majors earlier. No, she's just a master's. Just a master's. That's. I don't want to use the word liberal again.
I'm just Rachel.
There you go. Well, we appreciate just Rachel because you're not just Rachel tonight to us. You're very special, being our first female veteran, and I think it's going to be great to hear perspective of a female and some of the things that you went through while you're in the military, because you weren't in there just one tour or 4 years or 2 years. You were in there 20 years, so you've been through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into your military service, so Rachel, where were you born? Where did you live? Where did you grow up?
I was born and raised at Lawton, Fort Sill, Oklahoma, home of Field Artillery. Grew up there.
Still connected it to the Army.
Really just can't get away.
Yeah.
We never die. So.
That's funny. So born and raised in Lawton, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Now I'm interested. So 17, you were already like an athlete. What were your sports?
I'm a tomboy at heart, so I played everything from throwback tackle to marbles and everything else. But when I was 10, when I was 10, though, I got a hold to a basketball, and that's all she wrote.
Just never let go.
I even played last year on a over. 50.
Yeah, that's all good. That's all good.
You played on a team.
You put it on.
Yeah.
With some other people.
So,
nice.
Over 50 league here in Tennessee.
Okay.
So, yeah, in the senior game. So
those are still young people because we're getting close. Those are young people.
I would put them up against 20s any day.
Oh, I bet
they would know how to work it.
Well, they would
work as a team.
They'd work harder than the 20-year-olds. That's for sure. Especially with all these NIL deals and stuff. So basketball was your sport. What position did you play?
I was a shooting guard and number 2 in college.
Okay, Kobe.
We grew up. I actually grew up playing 6-on-6.
Oh.
Hush over the room. Yeah, I grew up playing 6-on-6, and but of course when we transitioned to college, it's 5-on-5.
Right.
So, but I was a shooting guard in college.
Wow. So I see at 17, life changed a little bit. Yeah. You had your daughter, right?
I did.
Okay. And so then did you ended up graduating high school still?
I did. I ended up graduating high school, went on, and as it would played out, my junior year, they won state.
Oh. While you were pregnant?
Yeah. And I will tell you, but it was a foundational time for me because I wanted to just completely get myself out of the picture. But my coach was like, no, you've been here with us, you're going to be here. And I went. I had to keep the books. I kept the books. Yes. But they actually won state my junior year. And then when I came back, we won it again. So we won.
Oh, nice. There you go. Okay, good. So you got, did you get a ring?
No rings.
No rings. Oh. But I mean, around here,
yeah,
they win state around here for anything. They get rings. The kids all get rings. I mean,
Coach Marzano.
Yeah, Coach. Yeah, one of our other guests. They won. His football team won state this year,
and they won
big old. Yeah, they got
big old ring.
Big old
record, that's what California does, I guess. Hey. All right. So, how old is your daughter now?
38.
30. Oh wow. All right. And so from reading everything, so you ended up graduating high school. You went on to Cameron University.
I did. I got a full ride.
On a full ride for basketball or educational?
Basketball.
Okay. Look at you, man. We're already talking to a superstar. We should have sent out for a signature first. So in reading through your biography and what you said, it became a little too much for, doing school, sports, raising your daughter. What all came to a head? Like, what caused all that? I mean, obviously, we see all the things. I mean, anybody that knows you're doing all that, that's a lot, but what made it come to a head?
One of the things, again, I loved, when I say I love basketball, that's what I devoured it. And it became a job. Mm-hmm. I felt like it wasn't fun anymore. And at that time I was 19-ish. And so I was working part-time. I was going to school full-time, playing ball. And I rarely saw her, to begin with. And my grades were slipping and I just bowed out. I couldn't take it. Okay. It was just too much. Yeah.
So you went to your family, said, "Hey, I got to make a new decision."
Well, no, I didn't tell my mama.
Oh. Okay.
It wasn't like that.
Oh. So how did it go?
I kind of just was staying home a little.
Okay.
Too much, and some other people knew, but she didn't know. I didn't really have that conversation with her, and but later on, like I was saying in my bio, I quickly found myself in dire straits.
Right.
Dire straits, and more than anything, it was the loss of that dream. More than anything, I think it was because I didn't know that was the dream. That was,
Right.
And so I didn't have a backup.
Right. But I got to give you props. I know, we watch college athletes even these days, and I think things have changed and probably made it a little easier on them. I don't know, based on what we dealt with when we were all younger, right? I think a college athlete definitely had a lot more on their plate. And then you added on to it, having your daughter and then having to go get a part-time job because now you're having to support your daughter.
Probably weren't very many stipends back then.
No, probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Or food plans now they're just, you get a full ride. You literally get everything covered. And then you throw in NIL. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
I'm so out of it. NIL is that the imaging thing that they just,
it's basically now these college athletes. It's actually down to high school. I think the first high school athletes just signed deals with Nike. Okay. So now these kids can sign deals. If they go to like USC right now is living off of this because these kids are coming there because you have all these major companies in LA and they can actually make money. I mean, imagine if you had that and how that would have changed your whole world because yes, you had the work, but if you didn't have to stress on the money, how does that change things? You may have gotten more time with your daughter. You may, it
wouldn't be having a part-time job. That's for sure.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But a college athlete, and we're seeing, especially with females right now, we're seeing a lot of suicides in college athletes.
So that's their coordinator. Because I remember Stanford
They're
the swimmer from Stanford.
well, and then there's a
Softball
couple
player.
a soccer
Yeah.
player, a softball
Okay.
player. But
There's always the devil in the writing.
there's been a rash of
Telling you.
female college athletes who are successful,
Yeah.
killing themselves, and maybe and I don't want to say is all they went through, but what they went through is maybe your struggles, and they didn't have anybody there to support them or be there. So, they unfortunately they took that step, but
they should go on the Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and look up the contagion effect. And
we could talk to Rachel.
We could talk to him, and we could get him in connection with people.
There you go.
Any loss of life obviously is too many.
Right.
But I will share with you all. I have a heart for the living too. I just believe in my heart, not to, sound harsh, but we got to catch each other before that as best we can.
Absolutely.
As best we can. We got to catch each other. Because, once it's completed, it's
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rachel, that's why we say every week, this is why we do our show, right? Is we're hoping, we don't have this huge audience. We're not trying to get rich off this. We do it out of my house. But it's talking to people like you, because I think if people hear your story, which we haven't even touched the surface on yet, right, that they understand that, look at this strong woman made it through this.
Yeah.
And as a woman, as a young woman, if they're listening, and hopefully they are, that they can hear your story and feel something different. And like you said, we can beat them to the punch. Right. And that's our goal. Is we're not hitting millions, but again, if we can hit that one,
right,
that's all that matters. So, and that's why it's so important to have somebody like you on the show for us, for our show, for you. I think maybe it even helps you a little bit to be able to share it again. Yeah, exactly.
Well, whenever her book comes out, she can always look back and say, that podcast, this guy.
a little line in there. But you don't have to do that.
A catchy name. What was it? That new intro. They had a new intro. I just
there you go. See, we're already standing out. So everything's coming to a head, right? You're getting worn down.
Stress, the mental just.
So what makes the decision to go into the military, and then why the Army?
What made the decision was, and I'm being completely honest with you, I can see it in my mind's eye. I was standing in we were living in low income housing, and I think my rent was like $12 a month. And my dream when I was going through college was I wanted to be an optometrist. So when I'm living in low rent housing, paying $12 a month, that's a far cry from an optometrist. Yeah. And I remember looking down at her, my daughter, she was like 4, and I was like, we got to go.
Can't do this anymore.
We can't stay here. We can't stay. I can see it now. I said, we can't stay here. That I knew, that drive in me, that was still there. I still had hopes and dreams. I just had to find another way to do it. Yeah. And I ended up choosing the Army because I had a daughter and I was a single mother. And so the other branches weren't allowing single parents to join.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And so I had to do some legal work. And I want to say my sister took custody of her so that I sold my car for $100.
Oh, wow.
To pay the lawyer.
Oh.
And I left. Yeah. And that changed my life. It changed my whole life. Our lives. It changed
the new focus.
Yeah, it was new.
The next chapter.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. Again, I'm from a military town, but it's different when you're the one. You're the one with the ruck, like Melvin's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
I'd never flown before.
Oh.
I've never been on.
So you had a lot of firsts.
I'd never really left Oklahoma, really.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where did you do your basic training?
Where was it? Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Oh wow, what a change!
In the middle of the winter.
Oh Oklahoma to New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah.
Wow. And so at this point, your sister's now taking care of your daughter. Now, was the legal stuff just about getting your daughter covered? And
it was just to get her covered. And once I got to my duty station, my first duty station, then I got her back. But that was well over a year, because my first job was orthotics and prosthetics, and the training was 56 weeks alone.
Wow.
Which is basically
in addition
a year.
to basic training. So it's like a year and a half before I even hit my first duty. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you literally spent your first year just completely in training.
Year and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question. So when you're going in there and you've made these changes for, you're at the lowest, you've made these changes and you're in there, and you actually have to prove yourself twice as much, right? I mean, being a woman in here, is it how's the vision when you go in? Is it and I'm lost of word right now. I can't think about it.
For me, I didn't feel, if I felt at all that I had to prove myself twice as much, it was because I was a little older.
Okay.
Which on one hand was good. Right. Because there's some level of maturity, as opposed to someone who was 17. I think Melvin said he came when he was in the junior in high school, and thank him for his service. But but I was a little older when I came in. So, and the other thing for me, as far as having to prove myself, I couldn't fail. I didn't. Have
there was no net.
You had already almost hit bottom in your mind, probably. So there was no choice but up.
Right.
And I'm 20.
Right at that point.
Okay,
and your daughter's almost 3, right?
So,
now with you getting that job, did you know going in that was the direction you were going? I mean, how did you get into the training?
My scores.
Okay, so your ASVAB
scores were high, so I pretty much could pick whatever I wanted. But this is the truth, and thank God for all recruiters. The truth is, I had no clue what was going on. That's the truth. Right. I didn't know anything about that side of the military, and the powers that be in my life. That's what was ordained, and that's what I got into. I wanted to again become an optometrist. This is more like sports medicine, physical therapy type stuff. But the irony in all of it is, during the first Gulf War, I don't think any of us deployed. There's very a handful of us, because we made prosthetics. We made the leg.
Right.
Literally, we made the hand splints. Things come off the truck now, or they're more technically manufactured. We did that stuff by hand.
Oh wow!
Yeah, yeah. And so after that wave, the first Gulf War, I had to reclass. And I became a respiratory therapist. So after that, yeah.
So you just stuck in the medical field. You're like, I'm gonna stay in the medical field.
Yeah.
Well, and that's interesting, because I actually just read a story about the pits or something in Afghanistan and Iraq, and the burn pits. So that's the respiratory therapist thing. That's what, because I just read an article about the wife who went after the government because of her husband, and he was affected by the pits. I mean, my dad was a Vietnam vet, and dealt with Agent Orange. So he passed away of lung cancer, and didn't help that he was a smoker too, but Agent Orange didn't help either. From all the stories I hear, they said just it would take your breath away and do some major things to you. So did you deal with a lot of those guys and girls coming back with respiratory issues?
I didn't. No, not a lot.
Okay,
not a lot. No. I wasn't assigned to any of they're called medical centers, the larger medical centers. I was at Fort Sam Houston, which is no longer, I think it's Joint Base San Antonio now, because of where they do all the medical training for the armed forces. But I was an instructor at that time, so I didn't work in the hospital proper. So
okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you respiratory therapist? Did you do that?
About 15 years.
Okay.
About 15 years. Yeah.
So this, let's go. So is this the picture on the left there? Is that when you were working respiratory therapist?
Yes.
Or is that before? All right.
The one on the left, yes, I was a respiratory therapist and at 121.
And then look at you on the right. The basketball player is alive and well. So you played for the Army as well?
I did.
Look at you.
That's awesome.
So how long did you get to play for the Army?
I only played 1 year because I was up at Fort Belvoir, my first duty assignment. I played at Fort Belvoir. We won a couple of championships in the military district of Washington.
Please.
And then
everywhere I go, I just win a championship.
Yeah, that's all she
does.
does.
Back to back,
win, no matter what.
I mean, didn't even need to play on the team and still won, and then came back, back to back,
Yes. But I loved it. I loved it then, and I love it now.
Well,
and
look at you're still doing it.
I will tell you this, and it's for me. I'm really quite reserved. Really more of an introvert, except when I'm on the court. And what that did for me, coming from Oklahoma, going to living to the city, if I could find a basketball, I was home.
You could make friends.
Oh, quickly.
But if you didn't have a basketball, there was no friend making.
Yeah. So, but I had one, so I had my own. So, but that helped me really. Everywhere I went, I would go to the gym and make friends there, and so I could socialize there. And then it was something. To be honest, it was something that I was still good at.
Right.
And
that's
so,
awesome. Now you were a shooting guard, but did you body up everybody? Because you said that switch flips. Are you bodying up people when you're out there?
No, sorry,
no. You're just smooth.
I'm one or two.
All right. All right. So we move on from respiratory therapist, and what's our next assignment?
I actually remained a respiratory therapist until I retired. It's just I left my final assignment was where, of course, back at Fort Sill. So they sent me right back.
You went right back home.
Right back home to Reynolds Army Hospital, and I stayed there a number of years, and then I retired from there. Yeah.
Okay, man. All right.
I left 20 years, and they sent me right back. But.
So with your bachelor's and everything, and your master's, did you do that all while in the service?
I got my bachelor's while I was in the military, and then my master's once I got out.
Okay. That's and hopefully they paid for it all. I hope
they did.
Beautiful.
They did.
That's beautiful.
That's the program.
And that's a benefit that we earned.
Right.
That we earned. And so
that's why we want to make it clear and talk to it that I think people really miss. We hear about the GI Bill and all these different things, but we want to make it clear that sometimes when you don't have direction, for the young people out there, if you don't have direction, just because you're joining the military doesn't mean you're going to war. I mean, we just heard you didn't leave the country. It sounds like. Yeah. So, and you want to know a secret?
I'm sorry. I did leave the country. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. So,
you went to Seoul?
So, 121 General Hospital. I'm in my comeback year. Yeah. That's in Korea. Yeah.
Okay. In South Korea. How was that?
Once I figured out, like, you're here.
Yeah.
Again, I'd never been on a subway. This is Seoul. This is like New York City.
This is a big city. Exactly.
Yes. And once I figured out the subway system, and I had a ball. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So how long were you there?
Only a year.
Oh, only? That's still a good amount of. Now, how about the food?
Loved it.
Did you? Okay. I mean, it's a whole different kind of soul food, right?
Boo.
Boo. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
No, but like you're saying, taking advantage of that and letting the military pay for your education. And again, we're in California, but I'm actually have ordered there's a national veterans resource book that should be coming soon. I don't know if you can read that. Awesome. So this is the CalVet one, and it's thick. It's over 222 pages. And so I tell people, excuse me, hey, reach out to us, reach out to somebody.
Right.
American Veterans First in Riverbank was a couple episodes ago, which is 100% volunteer founded. It's a 501c3.
Mhm.
Awesome, great programs. I picked up so much information, and it's there. It's just there, and people. I'm hoping with our podcast we can reach people and tell them, hey, listen, there's programs,
and it's getting that information out. Is sometimes what will open that door.
Yeah,
right.
But the wonderful thing about it, again, I got out a long time ago and I joined even further back. A lot of stuff really was word of mouth. If you didn't hear, you didn't know. But now information is much more readily available.
Yeah.
We just have to take the initiative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Rachel, we can say where you work right now?
Certainly.
Okay, we won't get much deeper into. So Rachel actually does work for the VA right now, and as a peer support specialist, right? And so she knows, and Rachel, as I spoke, like you said, you joined many years ago. My dad was a Vietnam vet. We didn't know about any of it until like about 2000. He got lung cancer, and we didn't learn about it till about 2011, 2012. So then we finally went to the VA. My wife was a pit bull. Where we are, and sometimes the reason we have some of these local groups is because we don't have the VAs. We are all 2 hours to 4 hours away. The main one where you can get chemo and all that is 4 hours in traffic each way. So we actually had to go through. My wife had to get a waiver. We actually got them taken care of here. That's a whole nother story, but it's the VA, like people, I think, sometimes we're quick to attack them, and we're not going to attack Rachel because we love her already.
No,
but
not at all.
The problem is it's not being educated, not knowing that we can go. There's so many programs, and they're not all even at the VA. There's so many other things out there.
Right.
I mean, guitar, like we see with Scotty, our musician, guitars for veterans, right?
Yeah.
There's a dogs for veterans. I mean,
we've been reaching out
trying to get a hold of them.
It's dogs for veterans. Like, dude, we want to be part of it. Like, we're not your one-stop go-to, but we have information. We want to get it out there.
You're a conduit.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
You're a conduit. Yeah.
And neither one of us served, but we both had dads that went through some major issues.
Yeah.
Whether it was health, mental.
Yeah.
That both served and worked.
I will say to that, I'm sorry, this is your show. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You are the guest.
You can tell how we go now.
Thank you, hear me, for your service in what you do today, but as the family member for that veteran, often we, and I can say that my dad was a Vietnam veteran. Some uncles were, Vietnam veterans. My sister was a veteran. I'm a veteran. So it's not just contained to the person, the veteran, our lives, and what we go through and the things that we deal with. It often spills over into those who are closest to us. And so our families, in my opinion, I say thank you to you as well in whatever, however whatever role we play, because it affects us all.
Yeah.
It affects us all. So as does the help, as do the resources. The positive spin on that affects us all as well too. So
Well, and that's one of the things, like, why we do this is, and Eric actually talks about the conversation comes up every week, is we had our sheriff, our local sheriff on here who was a West Point graduate, and we asked him, have you gotten any of your benefits? And he's like, no, I don't. He's like, I don't want to take away from others. And we're like, no.
Yeah.
That is for you.
Yeah.
That is, you served our country.
Like I said,
you deserve your part. Right.
Yeah.
So, that's I think our biggest thing, because we saw there was a struggle for our dads to get the help.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Eric's dad didn't get the help that he needed.
He didn't get the help, but the great state and the federal government is going to allow us to go to Arizona and pick up an object that we can get almost 4 years later, 3 years later.
Are you serious?
They literally sent my mom a letter saying, hey, do you want this 380?
The gun?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
We're like, well, hey.
Yeah.
But I bring that up, and I'm not laughing about that, because my dad went through some issues. You know, he was on the Cleveland, so he was in the bottom of the submarine and all this. And I'm sorry, submarine. I said submarine. In the bottom of the
destroyer.
Destroyer. Right? Yeah, so I don't know why I said submarine, but and so, you know, he was down there in the engine room and stuff like that, and he got lungs, and so it was hard for him to breathe. And so, being the proud military man that he was, didn't reach out. And I mean, I'm oblivious to it. I mean, just, this is my dad. He's doing what he's doing, and he felt he had to do what he had to do, you know. And we can talk about it now, because, like I tell Mike and everybody that listens to our podcast, I do it because I didn't go through any therapy. This is my therapy. So getting to talk to people and share this, and even to talk about being that they released this gun, right? I mean, it's, oh my gosh, it's not, it's again, it's on the back of my shirt. It's breaking that stigmatism. Like, we have to talk about it.
Dismantle it.
Yeah.
Dismantle it.
And so my mom had sent me some paperwork about some of my dad's stuff, and I was reading through it, and it was literally like, the last page was a crisp, clean piece of paper. And I'm like, I open it up, and it's the death certificate, right? And right there on line like 27, it's, you know, death by suicide. And I'm just like, that right there is the reason that we will do this and support this, and have anybody that wants to come on share their story and you know, support whatever.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on having a safe space to do that.
Yeah,
having
for
a
sure.
safe space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to segue, but of course that's what I do here, and I kind of get us off track.
It's all good.
There was I was looking through on TikTok of all things. There was a page, and it's for Ward, and this young gentleman served us, and he committed suicide when he was like, I want to say 23, 24 years old, right? So his parents have taken up his cross, if you will, and have tried to carry this on, and they do rocks. They place them at different veteran buildings and stuff like that. And so this is our footprint, you know, this is what we do. And having Mike's perspective of, you know, I don't want to say working with the VA at a point. And that's why we have, you know, I will always carry all of these pamphlets and information. And I've gotten like 5 books. I have to actually go tomorrow and pick up a couple more because it's that important for us. So again, appreciate you coming on and telling us our story. We'll get back into your story because I know Mike, see, I segued back into it.
But you know what? Rachel was a willing participant in all of it. So thank you for that. Yeah. And thank you for thanking us, because we do appreciate it.
For sure.
I mean, we're just humbled to have you on the show and sharing your story. So after your 20, you know, you retired in 2008 from the Army. What made that choice? Was it the 20 years or?
Yes.
Okay. So is that, so do you have to get out after 20 years or?
You don't.
Okay. It was time.
It was time.
Okay.
It was time. Yeah.
All right.
And a number of other things that were going on, but I'll share with you. I have my own history of mental health issues, and around that time in my life, things were getting incredibly tight for me, and it was becoming harder and harder to maintain who I was as a person and feel like I could be the soldier I was and lead the way I desired to lead, in the way the Army required of me to leave. And I knew it was time. It was time to transition. So.
What rank were you when you retired?
I was a staff sergeant, E6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. E6.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so did you stay in Fort Sill after you retired, since you were already home?
Well, yes, but I wanted to leave. But
you're like, I got out, now I'm back again.
Well, you know, in the military, well, you may not know, but in the military, for me, you know, every 4 years or so, I'm itching, like, it's time to go. It's time to move, you know. And but at that time, my mother was ill, and my son, because my children are 12 years apart, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're 12 years apart. And so at that time, hopping all around. So I'm finally at home with sisters and aunties and cousins. And so he was like, Mom, I don't want to leave. And so I decided to stay for him.
You're like, all right,
we'll
it's time to shut it down.
Buy the house and we'll stay.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna take a short break and go. So last week, don't tell our sponsor, but we actually missed her commercial last week, so I don't want her mad at us. She won't get mad, but we're just gonna play this real quick, and then it'll pop right back on to all of us. So it'll just be about 40 seconds or so. Thank you, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Now for our sponsor, Tamara Pulido with the Finance Group, where they're creating a future where everyone has access to the loan and home they love. Whether you're a veteran, law enforcement, a first-time home buyer, you're up or downsizing, or even if you need to just refinance, our community deserves proficiency and expertise. Better rates, faster close, welcome home. Tamara Pulido NMLS 1655776. Again, that's Tamara Pulido, and her phone number is 209-204-3795. All right. Thank you, Tamara.
Such a calming voice.
I can't stand.
You do
I
such a
can't
great
stand.
job.
I was like, oh my God, I hate when I told Tamara she needs to do it. So if you notice, so I do real estate, and I'm actually part of a group called Homes for Heroes. So I actually, fortunately, I'm just licensed in California, but I can actually give money back. And then that's why Tamara's like my go-to lender, because she is the expert on the VA loan.
Yeah.
Like she knows all the ins and outs.
She just had a class today.
Yep, she did. She did just have a class today. So that's why we wanted her as our sponsor. And luckily she was kind enough to do so. And then it goes all with our message, right?
Plus her husband likes beer and he wanted to come hang out with me and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm the beer drinker. Mikey's the wine drinker.
There you go. Even though neither one of us have either one of those drinks.
No,
of course not.
A banging water, right?
Okay, Rachel. So the biggest question of the night, since we're talking about drinks, look at Eric's getting his notebook ready. So Rachel's hanging out.
Let me see real quick. Turn a little bit. Okay.
All right. So Rachel's hanging out, chilling out with the family. What is your go-to drink?
I can't see. Water with the lemon.
Water with lemon. All right. All right.
What I say last time?
You've been saying you're cheating, because every single person he's been saying sweet tea with their, like, everybody from the South.
Yeah, sweet
right?
tea works too.
Yeah.
But I got busted. I got busted a couple weeks because I'm like, oh yeah, tea with sugar. And Mikey's like, it's the same thing. It's sweet tea.
Water with lemon. You know what? Water with lemon. That's 90% of the time. That's my jam. And then the wine comes.
And then the 10% kind of turns.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay, but is there any alcohol or cold beverages that you do enjoy?
You
don't have to make anything up. If
your
water.
And I have a Crohn's disease.
Oh, okay.
And so
so that doesn't help.
Water with lemon.
So when did you find out you had that?
2003. I was in the military. Took them a year.
Oh, because did you start getting tired?
It was crazy.
Yeah, because I've been around a couple of people that have Crohn's disease, and they just crazy tiredness and
a lot of other.
And as well as a lot of other things. But I remember that being one of the things that they were just like, I don't have any energy.
And for me, it kind of, in case you all didn't know, it's autoimmune, so it can go where it wants to go.
Right.
And it affects my joints.
So then just getting around gets tough.
Yeah.
Man. Girl, you're just pushing through everything. Ain't nothing stopping you. See, I brought out that ain't word again. We're not the English majors.
Don't stop us now.
All right. So we retired from the Army. We're still at home, making the son happy because we're staying home because he gets to be around family. So now you're in the quote unquote civilian world, right? Where do you go to work there?
I started working for still in the same hospital, but for the mental health department, the mental health slice, if you will, of Reynolds Army Hospital. And I was able to work in the social work services outreach program, and where it was like a behavioral health clinic, but not like in the hospital. So like the door is unmarked. I'd come on in, it was much more
free spirited.
available. Yeah, we want to be accessible, to the veterans, to the soldiers. And so I started working there. And I'll tell you, that was for me the time in my life where I began to face my own I don't want to say demons.
Yeah.
But I had to face my own health, my mental health issues.
Well, you started realizing, right?
I want to go back to something if it's okay.
Absolutely.
It's critical.
It's your show.
In my story. And that is I joined in 2008. I'm sorry, I joined in 1988. And so I served in about 2006. I was at the hospital, I was working in the hospital, and we had to do mandatory training for mild traumatic brain injury and PTSD. And so we were all in the basement, regular class. And so we're watching this video, and in the video, there are these little vignettes, and maybe one of them, they're at a softball game and a car backfires, and somebody hits the ground. And excuse me, another one, I think he was in the restaurant with his back to the wall because he's scanning, got to see the door.
Yeah.
But there was one particular scenario where the veteran kept checking his locks. He kept checking his door, and he kept checking his windows even at night. And I'm sitting in this class and I'm watching it, and I'm like, for some reason, that one just like ding, 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 ding. And so I told myself, I said, I sat on my hands like I'm doing right now. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I sat on my hands and I told myself, don't you move. Because I was about to burst. Because I realized I did everything that was going on in these scenarios, but I'd never been to combat.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tie these pieces together. If I've never been to combat, and this class is about combat, but I'm doing everything that's in this video, what's going on? And that was the first time. Now, mind you, I'd been in almost about 18 years at that point. That was the first time, because I waited till everyone, I'll never forget it. I waited till everyone left the auditorium, and I went up front, pretty much broke down, and was saying, I do everything, I do all that. That's the first time I got, in my opinion, true evidence-based mental health care.
Right.
I credit all of the care that I've ever received from the military, all of it. It's just that I'm hopping all around the country, and I feel like whack-a-mole because I'm great today, then I got married, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm fine now. Oh, then you got pregnant. So, and so you're doing good, coasting, and then life hits you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have episodes. No slight to the healthcare system. They did the best they could with what I gave them. I just didn't know what was going on. But in that time, that's when I realized I have my own mental health issues with diagnoses, which come with evidence-based care.
Right.
And that point from 2006, then when I transitioned out and began working more in mental health and working with veterans and seeing what's going on in our communities and seeing what's going on in families, I had to start facing Rachel.
Right.
And it was a hard, but necessary thing to do.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got into my own that's where I call myself into active recovery, if you will.
Right.
That's when I got into VA care for myself, because I wouldn't get my care from the VA. I wouldn't. For a number of reasons. I was a retiree. So I knew I had TRICARE, and in my heart, this is just Rachel talking, I could not see myself going to the VA and taking that slot from another veteran because I had health care. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But in that space, some other things happened in my life, and that's where I ended up going back to the VA, literally saying, if somebody doesn't help me today, I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow.
To be able to realize that.
Yeah. And that's what one of our commenters right there on the screen, you don't need to see combat to have mental health. And we actually, one of our shows, we had a Vietnam veteran that didn't go to combat, didn't go to Vietnam. And he found out 20, 30 years later that he didn't realize he was going through something like what you just said. And he's looking at everything they're mentioning, everything they're saying. He's like, I have that. Yeah. I have that. I have that. So, and we've actually, I think we've had 3 or 4 of our guests who you don't realize till years later, because you get, first off, you're programmed to be a certain way, right? While you're in, it's like you're almost, and I don't know if the word is you're not allowed to see it, you're not allowed to realize it, and then you kind of get out and boom, you go through these things.
For me, and because I've shared my history with y'all in the world, but for me, mind you, now I came in busting boulders. That's the way I look at it. I came in with a mindset of no matter what's going on in my life, me and this young lady right here, I have to make it. I'm going to make it. And so my mind, for me, I was kind of tunnel vision. In hindsight, it probably cost me some things, but I just wanted to be successful. I just wanted to make it and take care of her and serve my country and do, what I'd signed up to do.
Right.
To have a better life for myself. But in the midst of that and other things, I just didn't know that there were other things I should have been paying attention to. I just didn't know. I'm just living life. I'm just doing the best that I can. But like the whoever it was that commented, I think
they just left another one that they walked into the VA once freaking out, and they just stared at him like he was crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that.
Well, and that's why I want to be careful and show all due respect, because I think the VA is, let's be real, it's a large organization. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of as in everything, there's good and maybe not so good. But I think everybody there has a heart and is trying to do something, and sometimes you just don't have the tools to make everything happen. So, I appreciate, like, even though we had our struggles with the VA, we still, there's so many things we're so grateful for, and I wish my dad went through, I think, PTSD right after Vietnam, like literally from what I heard, tore up a house, because he got out in 1968 after serving 20 months in Vietnam. And he was a gunner on HMM 165, which is kind of like a Chinook. And who knows the things that he's seen, and but like the comment was made earlier, you don't have to see those things to go through PTSD. It's what you deal with, and what your mental health is affected by. So I appreciate you sharing that story, because I think people sometimes we're not as humans, and even, not to take it away from you, but even as men, we're told you got to be a certain way, right? We always say the thing of, like, if you're asked, we like to say, oh, I'm fine. And I'm sure even in the Army, if you were asked by somebody above you what's going on, you just, I'm fine, because you don't want any blowback, you don't want any drama, you just want to move forward, do your job, and you, in your mind, well, my problem's not important to them. So I really appreciate that you shared that story, because I think people need to hear, when we're going through those things, listen, if the things you said, just the locking the doors, locking the windows.
If that was for me, again, that taught me.
Right. But that's
because
what I'm saying.
Who knows that? That's it. That's happening at my house. Who knows that?
Right.
Know. Yeah.
But that's where people need to, it's little things like that you did, nobody else may know.
Right.
And you look at it as I'm just doing what I know, but come to find out I'm doing it reactionary. It's a reactionary response to something. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Radio actually answered what my dad was. So thank you.
Okay.
He was a door gunner on a CH-46, which okay. Yeah. So thank you for that. He was a white knight. I do know that. It was called the White Knights. So enough about my dad. So back to Rachel. So you learn, you're really learning about yourself at this point, right? And you end up in the mental health, which is interesting because how come you didn't stay with the respiratory therapist? That would have been the easy thing to do, I guess. Or was it an option?
It was an option. I'm licensed and all. I just knew that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Okay, and that's fair.
My heart is it's in a different space. It's like in a social helping space. It always has been, it always has been. So no, the inpatient care and all that wasn't what I knew I wanted to do once I was an adult. And
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And can make a choice in really what I wanted to do.
That is, I guess that's a big exclamation point there, that you now have a choice on what you want to do. So you maybe don't want to use the words fell in love with how you maybe felt you were helping people change their lives and find themselves as you're going through the same journey, which I think is amazing in itself too. You're helping these people as you're going through your own journey. Is that where you really found your calling, is doing that? Because obviously to this day, this is what you do. Yes.
This, I can only envision it as a healing wheel is the way I envision it. Someone told me that may not make sense to you, but it makes perfect sense to me. What he said your pain is going to resolve itself. Oh. Is what he said. And I was like, huh? It's like, as you begin to reach out and help other people and share your story, and you see the healing start to happen there, it's going to help you in your own journey. And that is exactly what is happening. Yeah. It's exactly what's happening. Yeah. And just as I share with you all, even today, you all have shared things that have helped me in this hour, in this hour that has helped me. And so I see myself on this kind of like a healing wheel. But at this point in my life, if you'd have caught me 5 years ago, the answer would be no. Okay. At this point in my life, the timing is the perfect timing. I feel I'm far along enough in my own healing that I can share. Eric was mentioning earlier that it was we're still in Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
Last month was Sexual Assault Awareness Month and MST. And so I did a lot of sharing that month. And maybe I shared a little too much. You know what I'm saying? And I just took a note of it. Okay, you got to pour back into your own cup, Rachel. It's good to pour. But you got to make sure your cup is got its own energy in it as well. So, but I love this time in my life. I love being able to work with people and help people and listen. Just hold space for people,
And sometimes that's all people need is somebody else, because in life it moves so fast and we don't. And I think that's
I just on the way over here, I was just thinking it's okay to have a me day. Like it's necessary to have just a shutdown, just bring your vibe back in, because it's everything in the world is so now. It's so fast. It's so there's so much me first attitude, right? And I feel like this little group right here Every week we get together, we get to talk about it. We are reaching out and we're trying to tell people it's okay not to be okay. Like it's okay not to be okay. Right.
Truth be told, the majority of us on any given day
are not okay.
Not okay.
I mean, I've told Eric I had a rough week this week. I mean, I just really rough week, and it's been a rough couple months. Just for me, who I am, it's just been a rough couple months.
Yeah.
I got a beautiful wife I love so much. We've just had a lot of other things, and everything's good. Like, I can't be upset because our life is good. I just haven't had personal happiness with myself, and that's what I've been struggling with. But again, it kind of changes my mood once I get on here and I talk to somebody amazing like you. It just
definitely.
And so one of the things we've talked to some folks that have worked for Wounded Warrior. One of them moved on to the Seattle Seahawks, and he's now the community engagement manager between the military and veterans and the Seahawks. We obviously talked to Melvin. We're talking to you.
Yeah.
You do this every day, right? You talk to people. You hear the worst of the worst every day.
I hear good too.
Well, I true. But you do hear, you might hear more negative. I don't know. You can tell me what you hear. If it's 50-50, sometimes, I believe you're probably hearing a little more negative but you also live for those positive stories, right? Somebody comes in and says, I've had an amazing, right? And I can we got Melvin's got competition now for Smile. Melvin's got competition.
She's been wearing on me. I'm serious. It's been there. And from the beginning, like we said, I think it's the way that we just, hey, listen, this is what we do. And when you're kind of like, yes, no, now she's out. Now she's telling the story. Now she's feeling relaxed, and that's for us. Again, it's our therapy. It's what we do. But it's eye-opening, right? I'm stuck on your hope, though. I'm stuck on your hope.
We do need to talk
we need to hit
Project
that
H.O.P.E.
because healing others by sharing my personal experience is literally going to be our new podcast name.
We're stealing everything from
somebody. Yeah,
terrible.
No, it literally is what this show has been about. Like we're helping each other, and that I've gotten so much out of this show as I do all of them, but just one a little bit more because it's sharing your personal experience, So I appreciate you in doing that.
Thank you. Right. And I know the next line in that is, I share my story so you can rewrite yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's so just.
I'll do it.
Boom.
I'll do it. I'll speak it.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I'll share.
Yeah. Speak about it.
Do you mind if we come back to it though during some of our shows and talk to it?
Please.
Okay.
Do.
All right, because it is exactly what we're.
Yeah.
We don't want to steal it. That's your.
We give credit.
Yeah.
Just ask Scotty Hastings.
Yeah, ask Scotty Hastings. He's gonna.
Scotty _Hastings_ music. Copyright.
Hey, you're in Tennessee as well, right?
Yes.
Can you say the name? I love when people say the name. What is it?
Murfreesboro, and Melvin is around the corner in Mount Juliet. Yeah.
So our intro, Scotty, he is a country singer. He's an Army infantryman. And
you gotta tell the story though.
Oh yeah,
you can't just say, "Oh yeah, Scotty's our buddy."
Scotty.
He was in the infantry.
So
by the way,
he joined our show because he shared his rough day. Is what he called it, his rough day. He was actually shot 10 times by the same person, by the same guy, and luckily the gentleman that shot him got his due diligence from one of Scotty's teammates around him. But Scotty was shot 10 times. He was part of the U.S. like the archery team, the military archery team, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to quote you wrong, Scotty, if you're listening.
Yeah.
And the pandemic happened, so he decided, hey, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar.
Oh wow!
From YouTube. And he sang
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, he learned how to play the guitar.
Wow.
He's in Nashville area, right? And so somehow this guy gets hooked up with some of the largest writer, the biggest, most famous writers in country music, because he just starts going around to all the circles of writers and going to all these different things. And now,
Are you gonna play it?
Well, no, it played it during our intro.
What's his
We can't.
name?
Scotty Hastings.
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 We want to. It's Scotty Hastings. So if you go down to, well, I don't know how far Nashville is from you.
No,
it's not close.
No, it's close.
Oh, it's close. Okay, it's right around the corner.
The Warriors meeting, so yeah.
So Scotty is literally playing almost every night somewhere there.
We'll have to go.
Yeah. So you need to go check him out.
Moxie. He plays at Moxie. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I know he plays at Margaritaville.
Moxie, Nashville. He plays at the Redneck Riviera Rooftop.
We'll find him.
He plays, he has a bunch of Margaritaville. He's on Instagram. He's always posting.
Yeah, Facebook. He's on Scotty.
Do you know if he works with Project H.O.P.E at all? Not Project H.O.P E.
We can find out.
Operation Salt. My mind is right. Operation Song, like where they team veterans up with songwriters.
He actually, I think,
yes,
he does.
It was a cafe. He was at the cafe, and they had a singer songwriter. thing
for veterans. And he just posted he was on a show for Guitars for Veterans. So he does.
Because I was able to work with Operation Song last month in April.
Okay.
Oh,
with a songwriter.
Awesome. Operation Encore.
Say again.
Operation Encore.
Operation Song.
Okay.
Operation Song.
That was so he had posted about Operation Encore.
Oh wow, this is exciting.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
But I don't know if you listen, I know the intro kind of went quick and you're probably thinking more of getting on here, right? The nerves of that. But the song is actually about him being in Afghanistan and mostly about veterans, and it's called The Stories That They Tell, right? So I just thought it was fitting for our show because we get to hear all of your amazing stories. And hear the things that our veterans go through and the things that you're doing for our veterans, right? The giving back and continuing, you've stopped your journey as a veteran, as active military, but you're continuing to give back to those who are trying to figure it out after as well.
Yes.
So I applaud you in that and appreciate you for that. I think my dad would have had a lot of things go differently if he would have had that, because he may not have had the problems that he had right out of Vietnam, but I think some of his anger issues, which then wouldn't have come down to me. So Rachel, I do want to ask, and I want to ask this in the most respectful way because you are our first female veteran, right? Do you feel, and again, I want to word this right, I don't want to do what I did a couple weeks ago, but do you feel like you had a harder road or anything in your military service as a woman, or do you feel everything worked the way it was supposed to?
For me,
for you,
in my journey, it worked the way it was supposed to.
Okay.
For me, my mission was accomplished for me.
Okay.
Of course, that may not be the experience for everybody.
Well, and that's the reason I'm asking is let's be real. This happens inside the military, outside the military. It's a sad thing. I think we need to get over it. I think it's time that we show respect regardless of color, race, sex, whatever it may be. I think we got to show better love. And that's why I just wanted to ask, because it is important. You still served your country regardless of who you are, what you are. You're still a beautiful human being that did some amazing things.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure you probably have heard some stories, right? I think based on what you just said. So
I'm saying I don't have my own stories.
Right.
I'm just saying overall, for me, it worked. Yeah.
That's my daughter.
That's Eric's daughter.
My daughter. She's working.
Yeah. She's working and watching us.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
The Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn. Hi, kid. She's an LVN for the county, so she's out there doing some fun stuff as
she works at the county jail.
22-year-old.
22-year-old.
At 22, I mean, you know, if I could go back, first of all, I probably would have. Well, I know I would have went in the military.
Mhm.
Second of all, it would have been like a military police come out, just because I personally like to be. I'm kind of a social media guy. I'm kind of like socially,
Okay.
like I like to be social.
Yeah.
And
He likes to be me.
Okay.
And I mean it in a good. I mean it in a good way.
And so throughout the podcast, you'll see me looking over here because I have my phone's over here, and I'm clicking on this and I'm clicking on that, and I'm trying to research some stuff as we're talking.
Mhm.
And so it's one of those things where she's 22 years old. She works in.
Here.
You're a badass woman.
So are you, Brooklyn.
She gets it.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Good job, Brooklyn.
She gets it. And so it's one of those things where I'm tough on my kids, and my kids know that, right? And I've said it before on our dad's podcast.
Yep.
I'm not my friend. I'm not my kids' friends. I'm their dad, and I'm tough. I'm an a-hole. I can be. But knowing that I can put out two human beings that can go into the world and provide for themselves, of course I'm going to worry, but I'm not going to be like, oh, did she get up in time? Oh, did she take a shower? Did she brush her teeth? Can she function? Like, I know she can do all that because we've trained. Well, I don't train, but we've trained them to do that, right? So it's nice. It's refreshing, and this is I'm so excited. I get geeked on it. It's the perfect guest for right now. You know, like I'm so glad you came on.
Absolutely.
I was like, yes, yeah.
Very
and let's. I'm gonna expose Rachel for a second. She was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
She's nervous. She's like, "What do I need to prepare?"
Yeah.
No,
we got you. We'll lead you.
We'll help you out.
Yeah. I do want to finish up the last part of her Project H.O.P.E, and she touched on it through it. And she says, Project H.O.P.E is my platform, right? Education, audience of traumas, trials, and tribulations I've experienced while living with a mental health diagnosis. That it's a blessing and a curse all in one, because the people that you've been able to reach, right, and the stories that you tell, you know, which is part of Scotty's lyrics, and it's just so fitting. But I appreciate you, and I thank you for accepting our invitation to come on to The Contagion Effect.
And thank you, Melvin, for handing you off to us.
Yeah.
So then now we got to put the pressure on you. If you have, you know, we would love to have more empowered women, you know, veterans that want to share their stories.
Sure.
You know, and again, they don't have to be combat. They don't.
No.
It's just it's about sharing your story, sharing your battle, your personal battle, and the amazing things that you're doing after your service.
And that's recovery. That's the recovery.
Exactly.
See how we do that?
Yeah.
We do that all around.
Y'all pretty good.
Hey,
that's not bad for a couple high school graduates.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I got like 12 units at JC, and I think that's only because of Sean that got me through like the movie class.
I got 0 units.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I got it too.
Actually, I need to take that back. I think I have like 14 because I had offensive football theory.
Oh, good.
Which I went through like the last half of the year because I was going to wrestle, but then they needed a long snapper for football. So I'm like, we'll do that. No.
Wow.
But, like we tell everyone, if there's anything that we can do on your trip down this crazy yet wonderful life that we're living, please reach out to us and let us know if there's anything that we can do for you.
I certainly will.
And again, if you have anybody, you know, please share.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, it's some help and therapy for us, for them, and I hope again that you had you feel comfortable now. So if you get a call to be on another podcast, or share it with your family. This is on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube.
I'll update the information because now I know a lot more about you. Okay. So I'll share, in our tidbit that I put on there. But
she was a starting point guard.
Yeah, shooting guard. Oh, they don't have to put all that. I don't know
basketball. I played 1 year in 8th grade. I had more fouls than I had points. Okay, when they needed to stop the clock to stop.
Mike.
No, it's gonna be time to cut it off. He needs the hook. You know what's funny is I have control of. I can. Eric, go ahead and talk.
Not even fair, because he knows that
I can mute him. I have all the power.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, we so appreciate, I think Brooklyn said it best. You know, you're a badass woman, and, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you continue to do for our veterans.
Yeah. Thank
you for being that ear, that mouthpiece to walk them through whatever they're going through. It's people like you that are keeping some of these veterans off the streets and healthy, right? And stopping, I know for a long time we were hearing 22, well, I guess right when enduring freedom or Iraqi freedom, we were up to like 41 suicides a day from veterans, and then we got down to 22. And we got a new number the other day. I don't know. Was it Melvin that said it or somebody? 17.
17.
Yeah. Which is still 17 too many.
One is
so, So we'll continue to do what we're doing. You continue to do what you're doing. And we appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you too.
Go see
Thanks.
Yeah.
Tell him Contagion Effects. Go, hey.
I'll
Contagion
Venmo
Effects sent me, and he'll probably laugh. We're trying to get him. If you have any hookup with Gary Sinise or 50 Cent, we're trying to get.
Yeah, okay, Gary. I'll let y'all know. Okay.
Yeah, please. Hey, I never know who I'm talking to, so I got every time, right? You never know who somebody knows. So we just figured since 50 was shot 9 times and Scotty was shot 10 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
you one up them.
Yeah, it would be a great collaboration between the two.
Oh man,
you never know. You don't have those dreams like that.
Hey, that's what we tell Scotty. I'm like, dude, Eric.
He was like, I can't believe you tagged me in 50s. I'm like, well, yeah, I told you we're going to try to make this happen.
We tagged Gary Sinise Foundation.
I have a hashtag. Get me an interview with Gary Sinise.
Literally every day.
On LinkedIn, like every day I'm sharing something.
Yep. So you're going to get bothered by that on your LinkedIn.
Oh, please, you can just block me. It's fine.
Rachel, wow, what a humbling experience to talk to you again tonight, and thank you for your time. I know it's late. We don't want to keep you up and keep you away from family all night.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you're more than welcome to stay on if you want to talk after. We're gonna just end the show and do an outro and all that. So it's up to you.
I'll see the outro.
Okay. All right. You want to watch it? It's amazing. I made it.
Amazing.
All right, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Again, I think I end every show. Wow.
It's humbling to be able to share this platform and have those stories and find these people that, are just doing so much good.
Well, and we're not just in our back door. We're talking. We're.
I don't think we've had anybody west of Colorado.
Not lately.
Well, Andrew is because he's going to be moving to Arizona.
Yeah,
so technically, he was out there eating.
Well, and Nino's in Washington.
Yeah.
But
Tennessee, man. Tennessee is like the hotbed.
Yeah, some great people doing great things.
It's pretty awesome. It is fun. It's fun.
I don't know. We should ask if Rachel's doing all the rucks that Melvin's doing.
Oh yeah, right.
And Melvin, I don't know when he goes to work. Like he looks like he's doing a different ruck every day.
Hey, getting that.
But it's awareness, right? Yeah. Everything's awareness. So we appreciate you too, Melvin,
for sure.
And Rachel was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So
good
really
story.
appreciate.
Good story.
Not good. That was great.
Yeah.
Man. Not trying to take away from it, but that was
Project
so
H.O.P.E,
great. Yeah, Project H.O.P.E. The fact that it's what she's living by is what makes it so great. So
go check it out. Go check it out. Project H.O.P.E. Link will be in the bio.
Deuces.
Bye, Mikey. Deuces.
Have a great night,
See
buddy.
You, buddy.